Hello. So we're going to take a little side trip from our discussion of trigonometry for just a little short video and talk about another way that you might see angles measured. The most common place you see this type of measurement is in cartography and map making, particularly when map makers talk about the latitude and longitude or the location of a site on Earth. Instead of using degrees with decimals, they use measurements that look kind of like this. I'm sure you've seen them. Oh, I don't know, 46 degrees, 10 minutes, and 32 seconds. They subdivide degrees in different kinds of ways than we normally do with just decimals. This is called minutes, and this is seconds. And you know what? It's not terribly difficult because it's like the degrees or hours. If you think of a degree as being an hour, it should be pretty clear what happens here. 1 degree is 60 minutes, and 1 minute is 60 seconds. And we indicate minutes by using the single apostrophe and the double for seconds. Okay? So for example, if I were to say to you we had an angle of 25 degrees of measurement, and I said write that in degrees, minutes, and seconds. Okay? We know we have 70 degrees, but what is this? Isn't that 1/4? That's 1/4, isn't it? 0.25. So I have 1/4 of a degree. Well, degree is 60 minutes, so I have 1/4 of 60 minutes, which is 15 minutes. So another way of writing that would be 70 degrees, 15 minutes. Makes perfect sense, doesn't it? I hope so. Okay? What if I said you had, let's see, how about 32.1 degrees. That's 32 degrees. And I have 1/10 of a degree. 1/10 times 60 minutes means I'm at 6 minutes. And again, if it doesn't come out to a nice even number of minutes, then you could do it again. You could multiply by 60 one more time to find the number of seconds. So let's get a little complicated. What if I said you had 32, let me get my pen back here. Now let's say 43.63 degrees. And I want to write that in degrees, minutes, and seconds. Okay? I have 43 degrees, and this is 0.63. Now we could have just multiplied by the decimal, right? 0.25 times 60 equals 15, or 0.1 times 60 equals 6 minutes. Okay? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to multiply 0.63 times 60. And that's going to give me, and I'm going to be rounding a bit here. I don't think this one's rounded though. 37.8 minutes. So this is 43 degrees, 37.8 minutes. Now since we have a fraction of a minute, we could actually take that down to seconds, couldn't we? So now what do? Now we have 43 degrees, 37 minutes, and we have 0.8 of a minute. Well, a minute has 60 seconds in it, so what's 0.8 of 60? 48 seconds. So what I've done is I've converted 43.63 degrees into 43 degrees, 37 minutes, 48 seconds. By the way, I should say that this is sometimes called the DMS system, degrees, minutes, seconds. And in fact, there are some calculators that have this function built in, that you can convert from degrees to degrees, minutes, seconds, or vice versa. Okay, you'll have to check your own calculators for that, but you should be able to do it the longhand anyway. What about going back the other way? What if I give you degrees, minutes, and seconds and say, find this measurement in terms of a decimal measurement in degrees? So let's take a look at this. Let's say I had 96 degrees, 14 minutes, and 32 seconds. We're going to work backwards. Think about what we did up here. My last step was to multiply this decimal right here by 60, right, to get the 48. So what am I going to do to the 48 if I were going to go backwards? I would divide by 60 to see what decimal I attach onto the minutes, wouldn't I? So I'm going to divide 32 by 60, and we're going to do a little bit of rounding here, but when you divide 32 by 60, you get 14, no you don't, you get 0.53 repeating. Let's just make it 0.53. It's a little more than half, isn't it? Okay? So that means we have a little more than half a minute with the 32 seconds. So now we're going to take that 0.53 and we're going to tack it on to the end of the minutes, because that's how much of a minute we have. So we're now at 96 degrees, 14.53 minutes. Now what do? Take this and divide it by 60, and that will tell us how much of a degree we have, because there are 60 minutes in a degree. 14.53 divided by 60, it's around a fourth, isn't it? Because 15 would be a fourth. You get, and again I'm rounding, about 0.24216 repeating. Okay, 0.242. So my bottom line here is I get 96 degrees let's get rid of that degree sign. I'll put the decimal on here first. 96.242 degrees. This measurement is equal to this measurement. So to go from degrees to degrees, minutes, and seconds, we're dividing consecutively by 60. And to go from degrees, minutes, seconds to degrees, we're going to divide consecutively by 60. There is another way, very quickly, and that uses the fact that in terms of seconds, if there are, let me go back up here so that we can take a look at this. Get way back up here, right up there. If there are 60 minutes in a degree and there are 60 seconds in a minute, then there are 60 times 60 seconds in a degree. There are actually 3,600 seconds in a degree. In the same way that there are 3,600 3,600 seconds in an hour. Okay? We can actually use that to solve this a different way. And here's how you do it. If you have degrees, minutes, and seconds, what you can do is you can divide, you can divide your minutes by 60. That will give us the number of fraction of degrees. And divide your seconds by 3,600, which will also give you fractions of degrees. And then just add them together. You get 96 plus, if you divide 14 by 60, you get 0.23. You actually get 0.233 repeating. So let's put 3 decimal places there. And if you divide 32 by 3,600, you get about 0.009. You actually get 0.008 repeating, but again, we'll round off. And when you add those together, guess what you get? 96.242. So either way is acceptable. I think this way is actually a little easier if you ask me. Okay? Just divide your minutes by 60, divide your seconds by 3,600, and add the 3 answers together, and that will give you your fraction of a degree. And we've already talked about how to go from fractions of a degree to degrees, minutes, and seconds. Multiply by 60, the decimal part, and then take the decimal part of that answer and multiply by 60 again. Okay? So that's just a little quick detour to the world of latitude and longitude, degrees, minutes, and seconds. There you go.